Americans across the country are suffering from malnutrition. Even those that are eating healthy foods are still being malnourished. What is the cause? In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 signs of nutrient deficiency and how to fix the problem if you do.
You're watching the Dr. Jake podcast.
I'm Dr. Jake. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor and integrative physician in Salt Lake City, Utah. On this channel, I share with you how you can heal your body naturally without any harmful drugs or surgery. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. Okay, let's jump in. So you might be malnourished of nutrients even though you are actually eating healthy food. So one big one, especially for those that are trying to eat healthy, is there's an epidemic of gut issues going on. You might not know you have gut issues. You might have, you don't have any constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, everything's feeling good, but you still have some gut malabsorption issues going on because there's a lot of inflammation in there. But let's say you are having symptoms of diarrhea, constipation, that's probably a more of an indication that you do have some gut issues and we need to check that out. So even if you're eating healthy, doesn't mean you're actually getting the nutrients in. One other thing I want to talk about also is our soils are getting depleted. Even though you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, our soils are depleted of the minerals that we need. So very common nutrient deficiencies are occurring, especially of zinc and magnesium, because of the depletion of our soils, our poor farming practices that we've been doing here in the United States and throughout the world. And hopefully over time, we're able to get better farming practices and be able to get it from our food more efficiently. But right now, even if you eat awesome, you're even going to have some of these common nutrient deficiencies that we're going to talk about. Yeah, so what are the 7 signs that we have that we might have malabsorption or some nutrient issues? The first sign of nutrient deficiency is white spots or cracking on your nails. This could be related to a zinc deficiency. So if you see that on your nails, you could be like, I probably do have a zinc deficiency, and it would probably be a good idea to look at why you have that deficiency in the first place. So go to an integrative physician that knows how to look at that, or start supplementing with some zinc. But I also want to say, if you do supplement with high amounts of zinc production, you want to make sure you get some copper with that too. So don't just take a lot of zinc, that could deplete you of copper. Number 2 one I want to talk about today is that you could have cracking in the corners of your mouth. So like this red soreness and cracking that can occur. This could be related to a iron deficiency or a zinc deficiency, could be related to those type of symptoms. So if you start noticing that happening to you, you need to look into some of these nutrient deficiencies. You could even get a nutrient panel or go to, and an integrative doctor can look into that for you. Next sign of nutrient deficiency is getting sick often. Like you get some random cold, whoever you get exposed to, you're getting a cold or a virus or a flu. You tend to get sick more than 2 or 3 times a season. This could be that you're deficient in some of our main immune vitamins like zinc and vitamin A and vitamin C. And probably the biggest one I see a deficiency of all is vitamin D deficiency. I check this all the time in majority of my patients, and pretty much 99% of patients that I test that aren't taking vitamin D are deficient of vitamin D. So if you're getting sick a lot, you especially need to get checked your vitamin D and then the other nutrients that are that I just talked about. Next sign of nutrient deficiency is poor wound healing. So you notice that you get a cut and it's taking longer than usual to heal. Or you can compare yourself to friends or family and you're like, wow, it takes me a lot longer to heal. This could be related to a deficiency of some of the nutrients that we just talked about for the immune system, like vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D, but also a big one that goes along with this is copper. So you could have a deficiency of all these type of nutrients and then you're not going to heal very well. Another sign of nutrient deficiency is chronic fatigue. They could be deficient of all kinds of different nutrients. And the main ones that I see related to that is vitamin D is one, iron is another one, and then magnesium deficiency. So like I said just earlier, some of the deficiencies that most commonly we happen because of depleted soils is magnesium and zinc. Magnesium is a huge one that most people are deficient in, and this is a big one related to 300 different mechanisms throughout our body, and it's a big one for making energy production throughout. Another nutrient deficiency that you might notice is vitamin K deficiency. This is when you aren't clotting very well. That means your blood isn't clotting very well. That's different than wound healing. Wound healing is that your body's not regenerating, and clotting is that you're not forming the clot very well. So you notice, oh, you get a cut and it bleeds for a lot longer than usual. Or you're like, man, I bleed a lot longer than some of these other people's do. And this could be from vitamin K. We get vitamin K from our green veggies. So if you're not eating a lot of green veggies, you might be deficient of vitamin K. Last one that I want to stop with today is that you are starting to get a lot of cramps, or you start get some restless leg syndrome. There could be other things related to this, but it's very common that you could have deficiencies of magnesium and potassium and even sodium chloride, which is salt. That means when you start cramping a lot, it means that you're deficient of our electrolytes, and our main electrolytes are magnesium, sodium chloride, which is like salt, and then potassium. Big thing that we need to do just through diet is we want to make sure we get some of the main nutrient deficiencies that I see, and the big ones are magnesium and zinc. And magnesium is found a lot in our fruits and vegetables, mostly in our green vegetables is where we're going to get a lot of magnesium. And we get actually a lot of our zinc from animal products. So let's say we're following a vegan diet, you are going to be depleted of zinc, and you want to make sure you do have zinc. Just like if you're a vegan, you want to make sure you get B12 because you're going to get B12 from animal products too. So those are the main ones that you want to make sure that you get. And if you don't eat some of these foods that I just talked about, you want to make sure you get it in some multivitamin or some other nutrient form. What can we do to increase the nutrient absorption so we don't just poop all that nutrients and don't really get the benefit from it? One big thing is a lot of people have deficiency of hydrochloric acid, also known as HCl. And this is a very common cause of nutrient deficiencies. I see this very often. You decrease your HCl as you age. The older you are, the less HCl you naturally have. So let's say you're 60 years old, you're probably most likely don't have enough HCl, and you need to take HCl to really absorb a lot of your nutrients. And maybe some of your gut issues are related to not having enough HCl. So HCl is needed to absorb nutrients efficiently. You also need enough bile being produced from your gallbladder. So let's say you've had your gallbladder removed, you're not going to be absorbing your nutrients as well as you used to because you're just having this constant stream of bile. You're not getting this big bolus in response to eating food. So there's a lot of fat-soluble vitamins that aren't going to be absorbed very well through the bile, like vitamin A and D and E and K don't get absorbed very well when you don't produce enough bile. Also, a lot of people don't tend to make enough pancreatic enzymes in response to food, so they could not be absorbing nutrients very well there. So you're not getting enough pancreatin or lipase or amylase being produced, so you're able to digest your food appropriately that way also. And then going farther down the GI tract, let's talk about our small intestine, is you could have a lot of inflammation or mucus hanging out in there, or you have an imbalance of your gut bacteria, which is then affecting your nutrient absorption, or you have a dysbiosis, which you don't have enough good bacteria in there. And all these are causes of not being able to absorb the nutrients through your small intestine very well, which I see very often. It's very common for people to have these gut issues, even though they don't have digestive issues, to not be absorbing their nutrients very well through these mechanisms of action. If you want to learn more about healthy eating and what to do about it, click my videos to the right. I'm Dr. Jake, and I'll see you there.